In the high-stakes world of oil and gas, knowing your industrial gases isn't just a good idea, it's a critical safety mission. So today, we're breaking down exactly what you need to know to stay safe out there.
All right, our mission today is pretty straightforward. We need to get a rock-solid understanding of the three main types of industrial gases and see exactly how they're used on-site in oil and gas operations. It doesn't matter if you're a safety officer, an engineer, or working right on the front lines. This is fundamental knowledge for keeping everyone safe.
So here's our game plan. First, we'll identify the three big gas types. Then, we'll look at the oil and gas industry itself, check out some real-world applications for these gases, and, most importantly, we'll cover the hazards and the safety standards you need to know. Sound good? Let's get into it.
Okay, first things first. We have to build our foundation. And that means knowing the three main categories of industrial gases you're going to run into. Getting this right is step one to managing risk. First up are the flammable gases. And yeah, they're exactly what they sound like. These are the gases that can burn. Mix them with an oxidant, like the air all around us, and all you need is one little spark to set off a huge fire or even an explosion.
So the hazard here is pretty obvious: fire and explosions. We're talking about gases like hydrogen, methane, and acetylene. A lot of the time, they're actually being used as fuel, which means the thing that makes them useful is the very thing that makes them so dangerous if you don't handle them with respect.
Next, we have oxidizing gases. Now, here's a really key difference. These gases don't actually burn on their own. Instead, think of them as an accelerant. They make a fire that's already started burn way, way hotter and faster.
Their danger is all about that intensification. Oxygen is a perfect example. It's absolutely essential for jobs like welding. But if a fire kicks off nearby, that same tank of oxygen can turn a small problem into a massive one real fast.
And our third category is inert gases. Now, these are the total opposite of the other two. They won't burn and they won't help anything else burn either. This makes them incredibly useful for safety applications. But, and this is a big but, don't think for a second that they aren't dangerous. They just have a very different kind of hazard.
And that hazard is asphyxiation. We're talking about gases like nitrogen, argon, and helium. Chemically, they're harmless, but if they leak into a confined space, they physically push out the oxygen that you and I need to breathe. And since they're usually colorless and odorless, you might have no idea it's happening until it's too late. That's why their safety benefit, like using nitrogen to purge a pipeline, has to be managed so carefully.
Okay, so we know what these gases are. Now let's talk about where we're dealing with them. Putting this all in the context of the oil and gas industry is absolutely essential for understanding the risks on the ground. So what is the oil and gas industry? Well, it's a huge part of the global energy machine. We're talking about the entire process, from exploring and drilling for resources, to refining them, and then transporting and distributing them to the world. And believe me, at every single stage of that chain, industrial gases are playing a role.
Now, because the risks are so high, this industry is heavily regulated. In the US, for example, it's the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, or OSHA, that sets the rules for keeping workers safe. And let's be clear, knowing these rules isn't just a suggestion, it's a requirement to operate safely.
All right, let's get down to the practical stuff. Where will you actually see these gases being used in your day-to-day work?
Let's look at a few examples. That inert gas, nitrogen, is a real safety workhorse. We use it to purge pipelines and to blanket tanks to prevent explosions. Then you have an oxidizer, oxygen, which is critical for things like welding and cutting metal. And of course, flammable gases like methane. Well, that's often the fuel that's powering the whole operation.
Okay, this is where we connect all the dots. We're linking the gases and how they're used directly to the dangers they create and the safety standards we absolutely must follow to control them.
It is so important to understand that you're dealing with two totally different kinds of hazards here. On one side, you have combustion. That's the fire and explosion risk from flammable and oxidizing gases. But on the other side, you have asphyxiation, the silent, invisible danger from inert gases. You have to be ready for both.
So what do you do about it? Here are 3 safety protocols that are completely non-negotiable. First, always, and I mean always, consult the Safety Data Sheet, the SDS. That's your playbook for any gas you handle. Second, make sure you have proper ventilation. This is especially true for inert gases in tight spaces. And third, store incompatible gases separately. This one is so important it has its own special rule.
I want you to remember this number,
20 feet. Seriously, burn it into your brain. It's one of the single most important measurements in compressed gas safety. And here's why.
Because OSHA regulations are crystal clear. To keep a small problem from turning into a disaster, flammable gases and oxidizing gases must be stored at least 20 feet away from each other. Now, if you just can't get that distance, you have to separate them with a firewall that's at least 5 feet high. That separation is your last best line of defense.
All right, mission debrief time. Let's lock in the key takeaways. These are the points you need to carry with you every single time you step on site.
It really all comes down to this. 1. Identify the 3 gas types and know their unique hazards like the back of your hand. 2. Separate those incompatible gases, especially flammables and oxidizers, by that critical 20-foot distance. And 3. Prioritize safety above all else. Following the rules isn't just about ticking a box. It's about protecting yourself and every single person on your team.
So, I'll leave you with a question to take back to your crew. Based on everything we've covered, which safety procedure are you going to review with your team first? Is it checking your storage distances, or maybe it's pulling the SDS for a gas you use every single day? Give it some thought.
Subscribe to HSE Study for more oil and gas industry safety training, industrial gas safety lessons, and professional workplace safety knowledge. If this video helped you, like and share it to help protect others.